So if you were to try and engage with someone who doesn't know much about astrophysics, do you have one big fact that could blow their mind and get them interested?
I think my entry level fact is there are more stars in the sky than there are grains of sand on Earth. That's my favourite one. That was one that I really loved when I was young.
Yeah.
But you can like add an extra twist on that. And there are actually more atoms in a glass of water than there are stars in the observable universe.
People do fun jobs.
You're passionate about Earth and how it operates in the universe. But I feel the more that we know, the smaller we feel, the smaller I feel. And to me, the scarier it all seems. So does our knowledge make you feel that Earth and humans and life are insignificant?
No, I don't think they're insignificant at all. I think it's absolutely amazing that, one, the universe exists, all this stuff within the universe exists, then it's so like random. Like we don't know what the cause of life is and how life can just happenstance to take place, and we don't know if it's unique to Earth or the universe is teeming with life. I hope the latter. I think the latter. But it's just incredible because I think there's like some famous quote about how humans are just the universe trying to understand itself, and the reality is like our brains are not capable of understanding a lot. Like,
yeah, I can second that.
I can explain stuff to a certain point, but there comes a point where even I don't get it because my brain does not enable that. And like, for example, the really good example of something that we're unable to understand is infinities. We're good with finite numbers where there's an end. We can't imagine something that goes on forever. It's a really, really tough thing to get your head around. And the universe itself is infinite. And then it's like, well, I don't know where to go from there. So it doesn't make me feel insignificant. I actually think it's quite amazing.
Okay.
Because also you're thinking on the human scale and the human scale on Earth in relation to the universe, but actually you can go as equivalently as you can go larger, you can go smaller. And there's a whole new kind of world that goes down onto the molecular level, beyond that onto the atomic level, like the size of atoms. Like atoms I think of as kind of like miniature solar systems because they're largely empty space. So you kind of, there's so much going on. No, I don't think it's insignificant.
That's a really lovely answer, actually. I also wasn't implying that I feel insignificant. It's just quite difficult. Like you said, your brain can only understand so much when you start talking about billions and billions of light years away and that kind of complicated number, for example. That's really hard. Why is maths so closely linked to physics and science?
Excellent question. So I think of maths. Maths for me is a tool for understanding the universe because the language of the universe is mathematics, which I think is really amazing because let's say there are aliens and there is like intelligent life. If they understand how the universe works to a similar level to us and we were able to communicate, we could communicate through mathematics because that would actually be universal.
You seem quite passionate about the fact that you come from a background which maybe the odds were possibly stacked against you in what you're doing now. Like, what is your background and why is that something that you now feel so kind of passionate about?
So my background is that I was a free school dinners kid. You know, my parents were working class, separated family. You know, there was a lot of problems that come with that. The other thing is that I am obviously a female and physics is a very male-dominated subject.
Is it really?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's about 15 to 20% females in physics.
That's not very reflective.
Exactly. And also it's very middle class or higher, which isn't an issue. University is quite more accessible for people who come from more affluent or more privileged backgrounds, particularly like middle class and higher. So, and the reason why I talk about class and stuff is it's not something that I ever consciously thought of, but coming from free school meals, living in a world, you know, where the odds are against you. Yeah. And now I'm living in a world where I've literally gone from the bottom to the top just through getting this education. Went in uni one end and I got spat out the other end, and it feels different. I'm the first person in my family to go to university and all of this, but people don't really talk about what it's like to be socially mobile. And I think that's just something that's a narrative that I can bring.
And so for those who are inspired by what you do and they want to pursue a career, not necessarily just in astrophysics, maybe just physics or sciences in general, what advice would you give to them?
Don't be put off because you're the first in your family. Uni can be affordable, even if you don't think it is. There's a lot of misconceptions. And I guess I just want to break that down and show people that if this is something they want to do, they can do it. There is a way. It's not going to be easy. You need to be resilient, but it's possible. And I think just by showing somebody that I've managed to do it, that might help encourage them, to give them the confidence to believe that they can do it.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just kind of where that comes from.
That's so cool. There's so much more depth to just kind of putting out information. You're putting out, obviously, and you're doing that fantastically, obviously, but to have that other layer to you and your intentions are to help people follow in your kind of footsteps or similar. That's really cool.
Thanks.
You should be well proud of that.
This has been a Mr. Winter production.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more videos.
Available now on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
This is Mr. Winter. Let's go!